I think she's coming in now, though. I see somebody pop in.
Oh, yeah, there she is.
She's in the video, she just can't.
She can't get in the call. All right, let me resend her the phone number. Let's see. There we go. Good morning.
Okay, I hear you guys. Hello.
Okay, good. She's calling into the phone number.
She can hear us now. She's on.
Oh, okay. Good. All right. Can you close those two doors real quick just in case? All righty. So I've got myself and Chris, Tiffany, and Kiana, and Pam just came in. So she may be joining us here in just a moment.
Pam just sent me a text message and she said, please record the meeting and send it to me. So I don't know if she's going to make it on.
Oh, okay. Great.
So we've got lots of things
Right,
going
we
on.
Yes, ma'am.
As always, right? Well, I can't see you, which is sad. So Holly, I'm gonna need a little bit of your help to kind of make sure everybody has their turn. But we want to kick it off with what are the successes and what are the challenges we've had for the past 2 weeks?
All right, we're going to start with the newbie, Tiffany.
Okay.
Tiffany.
I was just on the phone yesterday, so I'm kind of struggling with like multitasking between like the two screens, between like their policies and Easy Links, but I'm gonna get the hang of it. As far as like successes go, the checklist, I know we talked about it last time, but I've been working on a lot more and they're becoming a lot easier. Like I'm working through them a lot faster than I was previously.
Are they starting to make sense too as you're going through them?
Yes, like I'm asking less questions.
Good.
Good. All right, Kiana, you want to go next?
I mean, I'm just basically on the same page. Just I've been able to catch up a lot more to where I'm able to work more of the retention center and of the renewals. So I feel like that's good. But I mean, the struggles are getting easier. Cause like, I mean, Pam's trying to redesign like how we have our follow-ups and stuff like that. So we're having less follow-ups and we're more gearing towards our checklist and making sure we talk to our customers.
Yeah, I got to talk. I hear the doggy in the background. I
got to in the office, yeah.
For a minute last night too. And so one of the things we're going to talk about today is kind of like first call resolution, how we can get there so that way it's kind of like one and done and there's not a whole bunch of trailing work for you guys.
Okay.
I know Pam had said something about the one, she had brought it up yesterday while we were talking about how she wants us to try and do that, and like while we're on phone calls to make sure that we're trying to just, you know, get it all done while we're on the call and not having to call customers back and email them and text them and things of that nature afterwards.
Yeah, it does make a pretty big difference. So I'm excited that she started talking to you guys about that because it's something we really go deep when we talk about time management. It's just first call resolution, and the customer's like way happier because they just get it off their list of things to do too.
All right, Chris, successes and challenges?
I guess the one success that stands out this week, I was just doing, I had someone call in for, she was on my retention center list, I just hadn't got to her yet, but she was complaining about her rate going up, and we pretty much I had remarketed her just as a option. I didn't really want to bring it up, but then we just kind of went over everything that she has on her auto and home. It's nationwide, of course, and nothing really could save her overall. And pretty much after I just went over everything that she has, she realized, you know, that she had a good policy. There was a lot built in, and she was going to just stay with Nationwide. So I just felt like, you know, taking time to review everything she had, just, you know, she was okay with staying. It's just nice to have that once in a while, and they realize that, oh yeah, we don't have to like, you know, keep shopping them out. They're just going to be content with what they have, you know, when we took time to just everything out that they have.
Well, one customer going from renters had a similar situation like that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just, it's kind of a nice break. Just have someone willing to stay. with Nationwide. So, I guess, yeah, my struggles or whatever, just kind of the same as last time. Just trying to get to those retention center, checklists and calls, which, I mean, it's getting a little easier, like Kiana said. I'm starting to feel a little more caught up. So hopefully, it just gets better from here.
Good. Good. How many like out of all the calls that you guys think you have every week, what percentage would you say we're getting to right now?
That's hard to say. I'm not.
It's really hard to say, because just like the downloads, those retention center things are coming in every single day, all day long.
Mhm.
Like, never stop and go, oh, look, we did this many. It's, oh, look, there's 10 new ones that just came through. So it's hard to gauge it, really.
But if we're saying on
But
average, like how many
maybe-
account reviews we do, is that where you're at?
Like percentage of your phone calls, yeah.
Yeah,
that
or
we're
if you
getting
say,
done.
hey, on average, I get to 3 a day or 4 a day or 5 a day. Like, do you guys have an idea in your head of like, how
I
many?
might do like 1 or 2 a day.
Yeah, I'm probably at maybe 1 or 2 a day. This is Holly.
Yeah, I'm averaging 1 or 2 a day as well. Just kind of depends.
I think it's getting better though, because like I find myself, like we've had Tiffany training, so she's been able to like actually fill out the sheet for us
Sure.
and assign the task to us. So it's kind of like once we're going in, it's just there as one of our normal follow-ups, and that's just something we have to get to for that day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and how are you guys picking who to do? Is it just like first in line? Do you look at the rate increase?
Well, we're trying to get all the high ones done first, and then we're looking at the ones after that that are low that have homes renewing, because since we're going based off the homeowners,
Mhm.
anybody we think we could probably get moved to Nationwide so that we can make that that bonus, as fast as possible.
Yeah, we are milking the cow on
Yeah.
those nationwide ones. Like I think that's been a lot of our focus also, is trying to rewrite everyone to Nationwide and taking like even this one guy, I could save him money by moving him to Nationwide on his home, because he has his home with Nationwide, but his auto's with Progressive, and he could save on his auto too, and he still declined. So like I emailed him afterwards a breakdown of the quote differences and the monthly premiums and what it'd save on his home, hoping that he'll like change his mind. So we're kind of like going the extra mile also to get them to Nationwide.
Okay. So we're kind of prioritizing by rate and who we think we can move, to kind of getting them over. And it sounds like there's been some success. I know I saw Carla's sales numbers saying that there were 41 nationwide home and autos since July 1. So I'm guessing that those include rewrites too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So it seems like everybody's kind of buckling down and having a nice concerted effort on the nationwide side.
Oh yeah, I'd say it's definitely been productive on that front. Everybody's definitely on a team goal for that.
I know the sales team said the nationwide auto rates are hard. Are you guys seeing that as well?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes.
It just depends on that exact customer.
Yeah, because like I've had some that, like Kiana had, where the home was with Nationwide, and so we could save them like $400 a year if we moved the auto, or even one that I had that would save them $1,000 a year. And the auto was a little higher than their other policy that we have them through a different company, but overall it still saves them a ton. Like I've got one today that I've got to call to get their auto moved back to Nationwide because of that. And the auto is a little higher, but it saves them so much on the home that it's worth it.
Good. So we're putting all hands on deck.
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. Did everyone go? Because I know Holly, you didn't go yet. I kind of lost track as I started asking questions.
Yeah, I'm the one that's left. That would be one of my successes, having some that it is, the ability to move them back to Nationwide and make them happy. And it could be somebody that's complaining about rate or, something like that. My challenges are going to be being able to get to all the renewal calls that I'd like to, because I personally am having trouble getting ahead of these people that are complaining. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to get more of those done. But since we're calling every one of them once a year, it just seems like there's maybe a whole bunch of home renewals or brokered renewals or, things of that nature. It's been hard to keep up.
Sure. So it's kind of like the success and the lesson all in the same one.
Yeah.
Did Victoria get to go?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Victoria. Go right
Can
ahead.
you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Well, to me, I'm with the other girls. I'm doing 2 for sure a day, 2 calls a day. And real success to me has been when I go over the coverages with the customer. I feel that they can understand better what they have.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one call where he didn't know that he can get policies for his ATVs and all the stuff that he has that we didn't know that he has.
Oh, yeah.
So I have quoted him that stuff. We haven't got it, but at least now he knows.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like. Oh, so go ahead, Victoria.
I'm sorry. Challenges, I think the same ones that everybody's trying to get the calls done. Mm-hmm.
Have you guys done any like time blocking at all? I think we talked a little bit about it, trying to set up some times to just focus on the calls.
We have a little in the last few weeks, maybe not this past week. We've been really, blocking out more time to do training at the moment. And definitely try and attempt it again. It's just, we've just been spread a little thin.
Is that due just to like be short staffed or training? What's the reason we're spread a little thin?
Training, the VA is actually taking a lot more time to understand what we're wanting them to do. So we're training them, and then Tiffany, and then Miss Kelsey's here too, Pam's daughter. So we're working on some stuff with her in between her marketing stuff with Mom. Things of that nature, and then of course trying to block out time for the renewal calls as well. But Tiffany's doing great, and Kelsey's going to be joining us doing all that good stuff too. So just a lot of different things coming from a lot of different directions.
And we can kind of talk through some of that stuff too when we hop on a call, Holly, next week. As far as the first call resolution, I know that's kind of what Pam was talking to you guys about. Was it yesterday maybe? The whole idea between first call resolution is like you keep the client on the phone, build rapport, chat with them so that you can get almost everything done on the phone with them. So we find that this covers pretty much like 90% of the activities that come into an agency. The ones that might be hardest for you guys would be like a reshop because they're probably not in the rater.
Yeah.
Not easy links, but the idea is how, taking a look at all of the stuff that comes into the agency, can you guys think of anything other than a reshop that we couldn't make the attempt to stay on the phone with a client? Every now and again, the carrier website's a little wonky, things like that, but our plan A would be to stay on the phone with a client. So other than reshops, is there anything else you guys think of that we couldn't stay on the phone for?
The system not working.
Yes. Tiana's right. System issues like defects, things that Nationwide especially is having to fix or do. It might take a few days for them to fix it and then us to make sure that it's fixed and then let the customer know, hey, this is actually what's going to happen. Those can be really, we've had a lot of duplicate violations recently that IT has to fix, and then we have to follow up until it's done and then tell the customer what it's about. There's a lot of things like that probably are not first call resolution, but we do try as hard as we can to get everything done. But I know there's a few things that we'll try a little harder to do, like the change request by email while they're on the phone with us. That might help.
Yeah, the change requests, payments, those are, always a big one. Auto ID cards, super simple to do those. The only one I would say that is if you're, the mortgagee changes and the lien holder changes, those to me are non-pressing. So if it's a crazy day, you can kind of put them off to the side, or I'm sure, Holly, that's probably one of the things that Marble Box is working on or, getting to work on for you guys.
In the near future, yes. I think that's down the way. It's on their training schedule, but not quite sure.
I personally haven't had any success with Marble Box yet.
So we have a lot of agencies using Marble Box or some form of a virtual assistant. Where are you guys seeing the biggest hiccups?
The communication barrier.
She said success.
She said the biggest barrier.
Oh, I thought she said
Yep.
success.
Like especially in the re-rating process, they're having trouble getting into Nationwide. I'll get an email from one person about this, and then Art will tell me something different, and they can't get in, they can't verify the policy, so when they try and sync it, if there's nothing on the first page, for instance, they were like, oh, it's not working. I said, did you hit next? And they said no, so they hit it and it was fine. Or it's missing key coverages since I'm able to get into Nationwide. I'm not sure though. I mean, it just is taking a little more attention than I expected to show them how to requote.
So that's the first thing that you guys kind of started with was the reshopping?
Yes.
Okay.
Or that's what they started with on their schedule.
Yeah. In my experience, the first 60 days are a little bit of the biggest challenges, just kind of getting into a rhythm. And then after you kind of go through this period, they become pretty much like indispensable. So I know every agency I've ever worked with has ups the first couple weeks, and then it gets to be just kind of put into place. So it's like one of those things where like the expectations are, yes, that all the work's coming off, but just like training someone new, it's kind of like you slow down to speed up for a bit of time.
Sure.
So what I would say is it's frustrating, but it will burn itself off and they will get better. And I know the owner, Ani, personally, so I know that he'll take really good care of you guys if there's any issues whatsoever. Have there been any success? I know Kiana said she's had no luck, but has anybody had any luck? Has anything gone according to plan or pretty awesome?
With the VA?
Yep.
No.
So
There's
no
been
win.
every one we've sent to them to come back.
Okay. How long
guess-
have you guys been doing it?
2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
I think it's been 3. I've been involved in it in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, little things like, we didn't include sinkhole coverage because we thought that was a deductible that was the same as the dwelling coverage. Things like that. I don't know. I guess I came into it thinking they had a lot more knowledge of EasyLinks and Nationwide than what they do.
Sure.
But I have faith that it could be a really helpful tool.
Sure. Well, that is the name of the game, and I know other agencies have made it successful, so I have no doubt that you guys will figure out your way through this. And when it works, not if it works, but when it works, it'll be such a burden to take off of you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of look at it this way too, with the reshops. If somebody else requoted it for you, you'd probably still take a look and maybe tweak a few things here and there. But they need all the feedback that they can get to make it as awesome as possible for you too. So keep layering it on thick.
You got it.
So I know like sometimes there's technology issues, but as far as first call resolution goes, to me, the plan is always stay on the phone. And then when you hit that challenge, then you have to kind of get off the phone and take care of it in a different light. But other than the reshops, is there anything else or technology issues? Is there anything else you guys think you couldn't just take care of right on the phone?
Can y'all think of anything?
Nope.
I don't really know of anything else right off.
Yeah. I think we're all in agreement. That's the main things I think that would not be able to be resolved first call, at least in our opinion.
Yeah. The other thing that I just want to talk through with first call resolution that sometimes people get tripped up on is, it's the crazy busy day and the phone's ringing off the hook and you feel guilty not taking that next phone call to finish up what you have. Does anybody know what I mean by that?
I do. And I wonder sometimes, because I fight myself, if there's another call ringing in queue and I'm trying to finish it up, should I put this one on hold and get the other one and tell them, we'll call you back? Or should I, tell my customer I'll call you back, or hey, I'll make that change as soon as I get the form back from you? What would you suggest, Kelly?
My strategy is that, we sit there and we finish the transaction. And if somebody can say, hey, she's wrapping up a phone call, she'll be with you in just a few minutes. Most times that person calling in doesn't, you can give them the option. Would you like her to call you back? Or would you like to hold for a moment and she'll be right with you? When people have most people will hold for a minute.
And I apologize, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but if no one else is able to answer the phone and it's ringing off the hook in the background, I can see it.
So in that situation, how often would that happen, right? Because sales can pick up the phone, Charles can pick up the phone. Like, how often does it happen where there's just no one left to pick up the phone?
Answers the phone.
Charles, well, yeah, I mean, Charles,
I don't think he's in
he
queue.
could, but I don't think he's in the queue, but,
Charles doesn't log into.
I mean, like, even our overflow stuff goes to them, so if there's nobody that's available, either everybody's at lunch or, everybody else is on the phone, we have calls come in maybe at least a couple times a week, 2 or 3 times.
It's really rare when no one's here
Yeah.
to pick up the call, though. Like, and I feel like if I'm on the phone and someone else gets the call, they check to see if I'm available, they try and assist the customer, and they ask them if they want to call back. Like, I don't think that that's like as big of an issue as it may seem.
Okay.
I know it just comes up like it's stressful of what to do,
I'm sorry, but I think what Holly's saying too, because it happens to me all the time, we get customers that call our direct line.
Oh.
Yes.
So those calls are not going to go to anybody else. And what I do, if I'm on the phone, I just let it ring and they're going to go to my voicemail.
Okay, yeah, like we've got a whole bunch of calls coming in right now. Bear with me. Kelsey, can you ask Charles if he can pick them up if he's able, or?
Yeah, right now they're in queue.
Yeah, it's flashing like crazy. Oh, nope, it's gone. Minute for a minute. Yes, ma'am, go right ahead, I'm sorry.
A lot of times what happens is like those situations happen so rarely, so we don't need to make plans around it, but we probably should throw Charles in the queue for those desperate times. I just don't want you guys to get nervous when you see the red lights happening. Like, stay on, finish that transaction, because otherwise what happens is you get off the phone, you hop on the next call, and this whole pile sets up, and then that client starts calling you back like, what's going on? I haven't heard back from you. And you can kind of see how it starts duplicating the work.
Sure.
So my advice is, even if things are crazy, stay on, be efficient. You don't need to talk to them about their weekend plans or who's going to win the Super Bowl, but just great. I've got this done. Have a nice day. Here's your new premium. We'll talk to you soon. And if you can kind of turn them over quickly, you save yourself from that dreaded pile.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I think that the goal too that we want to talk about is, I know you guys are working your tails off doing the 1 or 2 calls a day. I want to try to figure out our next steps. Kind of, to me, after Labor Day turns into what I call ordinary time. Like, the summer vacations are done. We're back to a good staff level. Everybody's in a routine, including your clients. So things tend to get a little bit less chaos, a little bit more organized. How can we bump up those numbers of calls? Because I think you guys aren't going to see the benefit of the time reduction because you're still getting the inbound and trying to get outbound. And that's, I think, it's a lot of treading water. So I want to think through a little bit about how we can get to a better place for you guys on that front.
Okay.
Because until we get to making all the calls, there's no benefit time management wise, unfortunately. There is a benefit for Nationwide for you guys to write more policies though. So it's not a total wash yet.
True.
Any questions for me at all?
Ladies?
I don't.
No, I don't think so.
Anybody? Nope, I think we're good.
All right, so I'll shoot you an email, Holly, you and Pam, see when we can kind of circle up. I'll just shoot Pam a text, see what her schedule is like, but we'll see if we can take a look at the numbers. I know we're still waiting to hear back from EasyLinks too on the retention report. So I'm guessing you haven't heard anything from them in a while, right?
I have not. No, what I went to them on was about the sales reports and it coming through. Some of them were duplicated and not showing up for the right person, things like that. And we thought we had it figured out by using the producer override code section. But even when that's there, it doesn't actually pull all the new business transactions. So I had to file a whole new ticket on, I guess it was Tuesday, and they're supposed to be figuring out why those didn't pull when they should have. So I just don't know. I've never encountered anything as complicated that shouldn't be as EasyLinks reporting.
Yeah, well, let's see what they say. And I think if we look at it together, I may be able to pull off a different field. So I don't think it's a total lost cause yet. So that's why it's probably a good time to circle up.
All right, cool. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll touch base and have a great Labor Day.
All right, you too. Thank
You
you.
too.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.